Oh, yeah.
What's up? What's up, Paul?
What up, Scotty? Been a while since we hung out.
Yeah, the sky is up.
The sky is up.
I'm going with that lame one.
It's just I hear TJ's moving.
Moving. Get that TJ moving, right? Yeah. I don't know what has he revealed, because I was down there with him, so I know what he's up to, but I don't know how much he's revealed.
I don't know either. I'm just reading in the comments that somebody that Coolman said that TJ said that he was moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know where he's moving to, but I don't know if he wants people to know necessarily. I don't know if he cares about it or not. So yeah, TJ's. Yeah, I went down there. He was in the middle of packing up his house. Well, not TJ, of course. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be real.
Yeah, let's be honest. TJ wasn't packing shit, but Chelsea looked hard at work. TJ, more of a supervisory,
right,
capacity.
An administrative position.
Yeah, dude, my dad had this thing where he was. My dad always wanted to move. My dad had this, I fucked my shoulder. I can't move shit. It's like, Dad, you're asking to move something that's like 300 pounds. But at the same time, you're like, oh, my shoulder. His shoulder went bad. I asked my mom, like, did my dad ever move anything? She's like, maybe a couple times back when, like, I was really little, or even before I was born. But he's like, but your dad hated shit. He just made that excuse up one day. He's like, oh, I fucked my shoulder up. I can't do it. I'm really sorry, guys. I'd love to help you. I remember you told me that too. You told me that was like your old man thing, was like, you know what? I moved some shit. My back hurt for like a fucking month. You're like, nope, that's a perfect excuse. I'm never moving anything for anybody ever again.
Oh yeah, dude. I put in my fucking work, man. I put in like I used
computers and
oh yeah. Well, not only that, but just like friends and shit. Like, you know,
right, of course.
During our roaring 20s, a lot of people are moving every other month and shit. And I was always the first dude to show up. No longer. Nope.
Fuck that, dude. I mean, your back's fucked up.
It's not an excuse. Being old hurts. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right. Being old hurts.
You know, here's the thing. You know, sure, could Paul do it? Yeah, but if, like, you know, the end result is that he's literally going to be in pain for like a month or more, possibly, then it's like that's like a fucking crazy thing to ask somebody. So, like, if that person's fine doing it and Paul's fine doing it, then whatever. But I mean, if I knew I was going to go through like a month of pain, I'm gonna have to really, really care the fuck about you. Like, you know, like life or death care about you for my fucking, like, okay, I'm gonna be in horrible pain. I mean, I guys, I've seen fucking Paul shit. Paul gets shit for having a bad back, but I mean, like, it's not like he's fucking saying that to you guys and going skipping around. It's like he's in horror. You can tell he's like in agony. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I don't think I can ask Paul to help me in that capacity.
No, and there's plenty of young people in my family now that can step into the role.
The young bucks, like, you guys, you handle that.
Well, you youngins, get out there and move shit.
See, Paul, he's gonna show up just so you can point and be like, over there. Good job.
Move it here, move it there, move it everywhere. Nothing a perk can't solve. It sounds great, but nah, I try and stay away from those types of drugs.
If there's actually real life perks, I mean, I'd be down for it. But I mean, you're talking about like me doing meth or something. That doesn't sound fun. Maybe it would be fun for a little while, but in the long run, no.
Look who it is, Scotty.
One of the presidents.
It's everybody's favorite president. Yeah, FDR. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I thought this was a treasure episode, Paul.
It is.
How is the president involved with oh, dude, it's a national treasure?
National treasure, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right.
The Golden Book or whatever.
Oh, when does Nick Cage come in?
Soon.
Right, perfect.
Yeah, I've been playing that Assassin's Creed pirate video game, the Black Flag, I think it's called.
You like it?
Probably the best pirate game ever made, I'd imagine.
That's some high praise, dude.
Yeah, I love pirates, and so I was thinking about buried treasure, and that's what you guys get today. We're going to talk a little bit about some lost treasures, some buried treasure. It's a lot of skullduggery that goes on around treasure, as you might imagine.
Of course, it's treasure.
We're going to start talking about Oak Island today.
Oh God, they have a fucking show about that place.
Yeah, we'll cover it a little bit, not the show very briefly because it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, go ahead.
So here's how the story goes. Hundreds of years ago, someone, nobody really knows who, buried some treasure on Oak Island, which is in Newfoundland.
Oh.
Speculation has run wild ever since. There's a place on Oak Island called the Money Pit, which is this hole that has a bunch of traps built, like not trap, but like water traps built in it. So nobody knows what's down at the bottom of it. But the speculation is pretty wild about what could be here. Some people say it's like Shakespeare's original manuscript signed in his real name. There could be tons of gold down there.
There's gold in these hills.
Some people even think the Holy Grail might be buried down there after it was ripped off by some pirates. Nobody knows.
Oh, fuck.
There's a good chance that there's nothing there at all. But that hasn't stopped treasure hunters from seeking the riches of this place. Even FDR kept an eye on the Canadian island. He did a little treasure hunting there himself. We'll take a look at that a little later.
Damn. Okay.
But pursuing the possible, in this case, treasure, always comes with risks. So far that we know of, 6 people have lost their lives attempting to find treasure on this island. Which has led people to say that not only is there treasure, but there's also a curse on the treasure. So, I mean, that's the best kind of treasure, in my opinion, is cursed treasure.
That's why the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie was so good, dude, because they had cursed Aztec gold. I mean, it's awesome to have a treasure, but also there has to be some horrible curse that you get for finding the treasure.
Wonder how many lost treasures are just red herrings. Probably most of them, I would guess. There's almost certainly buried treasure out there, but I think most of these tonight, there's a healthy dose of bullshit involved, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So here's how the treasure hunt started. The search for Oak Island's treasure began around 1795. There was a 16-year-old boy named Daniel McGinnis. He crisscrossed the island during a fishing expedition, and he noted a couple of things that struck him as odd. First, he noticed some scars on an old oak tree, and nearby to that oak tree, he saw a depression in the ground. He put 2 and 2 together. He figured that the scars of the tree were from a rope or a tackle system, which had been used to lower something into the ground. He was raised on stories of swashbuckling pirates, even back in the day, man. Still, 1795. He immediately wondered if a couple of pirates had buried some treasure on the island. He was sufficiently intrigued to return to the island the next day with 2 friends. It started to dig. Immediately, the boys noticed that the shallow clay had pick marks, but they couldn't get much further than that. The pit contained flat stones and logs, and the boys only had picks and shovels to work with. So somebody had taken great care to cover up whatever was buried there.
Oh, fuck, man. What could it be? What could it be?
So they didn't find anything on that first expedition, but McGinnis never forgot about the treasure. 9 years later, he returned to the island and tried to search for the treasure again, this time as his team made a thrilling discovery. They found this stone. This is a replica of what he found. But the stone has a cipher on it, as you can see. And none of the explorers could translate what was on it. One of McGinnis's associates even used it as a brick in his fireplace to try and see if, like, getting it hot would reveal some more writing on it or something. I don't know. Little ring of power kind of stuff, I guess.
Maybe.
And frustratingly, when they tried to dig further than where they found the stone, the pit just filled up with water. So eventually they abandoned the project. However, treasure seekers got an important clue almost 100 years after his first expedition in 1865. A linguistics professor named James Leachy claimed to have translated the mysterious stone. And according to him, the stone reads, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. So, what? You sound incredulous, Scotty.
Yeah, because if it was that simple, then they would already have gotten that shit. But 40 feet below, if it's already wet, if they're getting to the water table, then no one's. It's probably reasonable to suspect that you can't actually bury anything 40 feet down because you'd just be in water.
I don't know, Scotty. I don't know. So, but that reinflamed people's imaginations about the treasure, even if the translation is bullshit. Nobody's been able to, as far as I can tell, reproduce his results or figure out how he, read this cipher.
Yeah, it's called wanting attention.
You're probably correct about that. So it's been about 200 years since Daniel McGinnis first stuck a shovel in the ground. Numerous other people have hoped to find the Oak Island treasure in its so-called money pit. Oh, Scotty just disappeared. There you go.
Yeah, I was trying to fuck with something. I actually removed myself from the stream. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. They've tried sealing off the flow of water and drilling all over the island in different places, maybe thinking that like the treasure is elsewhere. Are treasure seekers chasing a phantom? Skeptics say yes, but the island has offered enough clues over the years to keep the legend alive. Treasure hunters have made a thrilling find or two. They found some coins, some whistles, some broken pieces of china, ashes. Ooh, whoever found that must have been real excited.
Yeah, right.
Some old scissors, some old pottery, and a parchment in the Oak Island money pit. Even FDR wanted in on the action, as we'll see. He became affiliated with the Oak Island Association and another treasure hunting group known as the Old Gold Salvage. Though the groups left that same year, Roosevelt continued to keep up with the island news well into his presidency. Here's some excavation, some old excavation equipment around the money pit.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's gotten more and more sophisticated as people have heard the legend.
Here's FDR on Oak Island. It's very easy to pick out which one is him. His trademark pipe sticking out of his mouth there.
Mm-hmm.
So the first occurrence of tragedy and death struck even before the translation of the cipher, the supposed translation. In 1861, some treasure seekers brought an iron pump and steam engine to the island. They hoped to pump water out of the pit. But the boiler on the steam engine exploded and scalded a man to death. Which, that's got to be one of the worst ways to go.
Yeah.
Just
that sounds pretty awful.
Scalded to death by hot steam. He was the first one to die, but 5 more men have followed in his footsteps. Most recent deaths were not that long ago, 1965. 4 men died from hydrogen sulfide fumes while trying to access Oak Island's treasure.
Damn, dude, he went to like a little cave or some shit down there and was like
4 of them. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, 4? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. I thought it was one dumbass. Shows you my listening skills.
Yep. Paul's family buried it. If my family buried it, it would have been found already.
Yeah, the Parkies would have kept that shit. Come on.
Yep. We would have spent it. There's no way we're burying all that.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing about these episodes to me, or this topic. Is like, in my mind, why would you ever bury a treasure?
I mean, I can think of some reasons. We might even cover a couple of reasons. Like if you're a pirate and you are going, like you need to go make port somewhere, and you're afraid that you might get gaffled up by the military or something. It might make sense to like find an island out to sea, stuff your gold in a hole.
You're also in business with a bunch of other pirates though, who are all greedy, and the minute you do that, everyone's going to figure out how they're going to get back to the island and take the gold for themselves.
True. Yeah, of course. You're
I don't know. I mean, like, I get what you're saying there. I'm sure there are some logical reasons, like, like, hey, you're going to be shaken down and they'll take all the treasure from you. But I don't know. It's crazy to me. If I had treasure, I don't know. I try to figure out a way around it. But
right. The series of deaths at the island has led to an ominous but beguiling prediction that 7 people must die before the treasure is found. Where this came from, I could not find. But that's the current lore. There's only been 6 people that have died. So there's one more person has to die before the treasure will reveal itself.
All right, take someone who's like 99 with dementia, has no time left to live, that loved Oak Island, let them die there, then boom, you're 7th. And it's an ethical way to do it.
You're right. You're right. That would work. Or just do the next like execution on Oak Island.
That's true too. Yeah. Like, look, you're gonna kill him anyways. Oh, it's in Canada, right? I don't think they have the death penalty, do they?
No, they don't. But what are they gonna do?
Fucking Canadians. Come on, guys. Just kill one person this one time, just so maybe we can find this treasure.
So there is, as Scotty mentioned at the top of this, a horrible History Channel show called The Curse of Oak Island, which is one of those like, you can tell it's like totally scripted, not reality show, type of things where every episode of it, and there's like 6 seasons of this show.
Oh, it's all the same shit, dude. It's a bunch of like, they're setting up like, oh my god, you never believe what we might have found, and it's nothing, or their equipment breaks or some shit.
This is the most exciting thing they found on the island, which is like an old coin, I guess.
It's because people they're really more interested in the legend, dude. The legend has captivated people clearly because some kid saw some marks on a fucking tree like 200 plus years ago. So people are like, this island has treasure. That's pretty thin in my book. If it was like Blackbeard used to sail to this island and he was seen like one night, like if there was at least something apocryphal like that where it's like, oh man, Blackbeard dumped his treasure here or something. It's like some kid saw an oak tree that was fucking marked and then dug down and was like, something must have been dug here. It's like, that might, maybe. But you know what also could have happened? Maybe the pirate did bury their treasure on this fucking on Oak Island, but they took it, and this guy's never going to find it because they already took it with them.
Yeah. They came back and dug it up, which makes sense.
That's what makes the most sense to me. If there was buried treasure, is those pirates came and got it, and now these people are looking for the treasure they're never going to find. Look, they've been looking for 200 plus years. Like at this point, you're better off. Like the sea is filled with goddamn buried treasure. You know that for a fact. A bunch of ships have fucking sank. I'd be doing that as opposed to this.
Yeah, like sunken treasure is actually real. Like there's actually there's a lot of ships that have gone down laden with a lot of gold or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, people have found those, but like this shit, like this seems like they're searching for nothing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
There is one prominent theory about what is buried on Oak Island. Probably the most popular theory involves this fine-looking gentleman here.
Ah, okay.
A guy named William Phipps.
William Phipps at your service.
As the story goes, William Phipps came across a Spanish shipwreck. There you go. See, loaded with treasure in 1687. He brought some back to England, where it may or may not have been used to help overthrow the king, James II, in 1688.
Whoa. Fuck.
But Phipps knew that there was way more treasure down there to be had. He sailed back to the wreck. He picked up more booty and buried it for safekeeping on an island he knew about in Nova Scotia. But Oak Island had other plans. As Phipps' men dug, water suddenly filled the pit, blocking them from retrieving their treasure. I don't know why the water waited until they'd put the treasure down there, but hey.
Yeah, that makes no sense. That's not how that works. Okay, like having grown up in southern Louisiana, I can tell you if you start digging into the water table, you start seeing water immediately. It wouldn't be after.
Rumor has it that the British government got involved. They wanted the gold too, so but they also failed at digging up the rest of the loot. So instead of trying to get it out, they they put all these, rocks and timbers in there to try and keep people from digging down to it. This theory is all the more convincing because of what has been found on the island.
Oh shit, what's been found?
Core samples of the island's swamp suggest human activity took place between 1674 and 1700. And Oak Island treasure seekers have found bones, wood, and even an axe, which all seem to come from the 17th century. So there was definitely some stuff going on the island, apparently.
Yeah. I don't believe that they didn't get the treasure though. Yeah, if you're talking about like either that dude got the treasure or the British government got the treasure, and it's like, oh, we never found it. Because I mean, what makes more sense? A bunch of corrupt fucking rich aristocracy keeping the money for themselves and saying they never found it, or they just never found the treasure.
Right. Or this never took place at all.
Yeah, or this is a fucking apocryphal tale at best. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, that's probably my number one priority in my mind as far as order of it being truthful. But if it did, someone got it.
Like the human stuff that's been found around there could have just been, sailors, docking up and hunting on the island or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, these people are making these crazy extrapolations for finding shit. It's like, yeah, there was human activity in that area, so that makes sense that, yeah, you're right. Someone could have like, oh, there's an island. Let's camp here for a few days. Oh, we left an axe. Go on.
So maybe Phipps Gold is on the island. But a lot of people say it's something even more extraordinary. Like I said, people say that Shakespeare's manuscripts are there, the Holy Grail.
Oh my God.
Marie Antoinette's jewels.
Sure.
Or even treasure buried by none other than Freemasons, Scotty.
Okay, now I believe it, dude. You said
Freemasonic treasure.
Shit. It's true, guys. Sorry. Confirmed.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that's the only thing convincing you said to me. I gotta be honest with you. You said the Freemasons are, I mean, because look, they have ties to aliens and shit. So we know for a fact the Freemasons could easily bury some treasure on this island.
They know all the secrets.
Yeah.
Masons, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, even if the water did start filling it up, they would just use their alien technology they've been gifted, and they would just magically make the water disappear, bury it how they needed to. They maybe even put some alien illusions on it. So maybe the treasure's right there, but our human minds can't comprehend it. We're like, it's not there. There's nothing there. The treasure's sitting there like, huh, if only you could see it, human.
Dude, when I was looking for this picture, this was attached to a story saying Freemasons say they're not a cult. And it's just like, come on, dude.
You're a cult.
Look at this nonsense.
Anyone says they're not a cult is a cult.
So let's talk about another treasure. Let's talk about the treasure of Lima. Estimated modern value of $208 million.
Ooh.
According to Business Insider, here's what is supposed to be buried with the treasure of Lima. 113 gold religious statues.
Fuck.
A life-sized Virgin Mary made completely of gold and jewels. 200 chests of just jewels, 273 swords with jeweled hilts, 1,000 diamonds, solid gold crowns, 150 chalices, and hundreds of gold and silver bars.
I mean, I'm good with all of that.
Yeah, I'd take any of that and all of that. So this one goes back to 1820 when the South American colonies were in turmoil. The Spanish colony of Lima was not spared from the revolts and unrest. The Viceroy of Lima decided to transfer all the gold and valuables from the city of Lima to Mexico aboard a ship called the Mary Deer for safekeeping. However, while en route to Mexico, the crew of the Mary Deer, commanded by a guy named William Thompson, went pirate, basically. They saw this treasure and they were like, fuck it, we're keeping this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So they killed the Spanish guards that had accompanied them, killed the priests that were accompanying the treasure as well, and allegedly buried the treasure on Cocos Island off the coast of Costa Rica. Here's the map that this guy, William Thompson, drew up. His first mate, Alexander Forbes, and he were later caught and brought to Coco's Island to recover the treasure for the crown.
Of course.
But instead of doing that, they escaped.
That's awesome.
And they were never seen again, and the treasure has never been seen again.
Dude, I fucking love it. Yeah, I'll show you right where the treasure is. See ya.
Yep. That's great. Yeah, these guys were great pirates.
Oh yeah, dude, that was not. I'll tell you one place the treasure was not. It's here. Because dude, there's no fucking way, man. A pirate would never, in 1,000 years, tell you where the treasure is. I mean, that amount of, that's gonna be a pirate's wet dream. I mean, you come into like $200 million, or back then, just basically like you're set for several lifetimes. Like you're basically as rich as a king. Like,
oh yeah. Come on. So yeah, like this one, there's a lot of historical like verisimilitude to this one. Like there was actually a treasure ship. They know the ship that they put it on. They know that it was stolen by the crew, but I'll be damned if they found a single fucking treasure. Not a single gold coin has been found on this island. And you're probably right. This island was probably a ruse. Oh, they're probably like had them take them here to this remote island so they could escape.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, if you're trying to like talk your way, because they're just gonna kill you otherwise. Like the only reason those guys are alive, because otherwise you're getting hung, you're getting fucking killed.
Right.
But it's like, look, I'll tell you where the like if you spare my life, all right, then like, all right, if we get all the treasure back, which means they're gonna kill you anyways. You know that, but you're just trying to buy for time.
Scam island, yeah.
That's most of these things, dude. Scam island left, scam island right. Everywhere's a fucking scam. But it's like you're dealing with pirates and shit. You're dealing with like the minds of babes and the minds of pirates. I mean, come on.
Yep. So this next one, a little more modern. This is Tomoyuki Yamashita. And it turns out during World War II, the Nazis weren't the only ones hiding precious metals and art.
Okay, cool.
It's rumored that Japanese forces also stashed large amounts of gold somewhere in the Philippines in the early 1940s.
Give me all the gold.
Where it is remains hidden for the better part of a century. It was named after the Japanese general Tomoyuki Yamashita, pictured here. The loot allegedly consists of a wide variety of valuables taken from banks, churches, museums, and private homes, among other places.
This is okay. See, as far as plausibility, this is totally plausible. Like warfare, people are gonna plunder shit. They're gonna take all the valuable shit, and of course, you're right. If they're occupying Japan was occupying a large portion of Asia at that time, so like they're gonna have to put it somewhere, right?
Right.
But see, the thing I wonder is like, would they ship it back to like the mainland? Like, why would they want to keep it in the Philippines? I don't know. So, but it is plausible.
It is plausible. We'll see. So after a brief stop in Singapore, Yamashita's gold was ferried to the Philippines, where higher-ups believed it would be safe until the end of the war. So they were trying to find like a low-key place to stash it.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that because they're in constant state of warfare. All these countries, like, yeah, we'll just keep it here for now.
The higher-ups thought it would be safe, but it wasn't. Some researchers believe that the American military was able to recover most of it and used it to fund the Cold War. That's one of the conspiracy theories around this.
CIA got it, basically.
Others say there's no evidence to suggest that there was ever any booty at all, let alone the massive quantities purported to be hidden. So another one of these could be true, probably isn't true, but that doesn't stop the treasure hunters type of stories.
Of course not, man. Well, the crazy thing about that too is that, if there's any amount of money, it's like, it's so hard to know what a soldier would do. So it's like, if there was the money there and the military's losing and there's a pile of gold in front of you, like, I think we know what most people are going to do. You know what I mean?
This is the fact that makes me think that this is all just a bullshit story.
Okay.
Stories were still swirling as late as 1992 when Imelda Marcos, pictured here, claimed that her late husband's wealth came not from extortion, bribery, money laundering, etc., but from Yamashita's gold. So she came out and said, no. My husband wasn't involved in embezzlement and government kickbacks and stuff. All of our opulent money came because we found Yamashita's gold. And according to at least one person on the planet, a guy named Rogelio Roxas, that is true. In 1988, he filed a lawsuit saying that he found Marcos. He was the one that found the gold, and then Marcos incarcerated him and beat him up for his trouble and stole the gold. So this is just like another scammer, basically. Like a guy was like, "Oh, here's an important dignitary who's going to say they found all this gold. Well, I'm just going to say they stole it from me."
Might be part of the fucking ruse too. Like, hey, you do this, and you get your little kickback at the end.
Yep.
Because I mean,
100% video game bad guy. Yeah, she does look like a video game villain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely suspect of that story.
Me
that
too.
seems like a convenient answer that like people in this country are gonna know, and it's gonna be like, wow, they found it. It's like if they had found it though, like they had been like the publicity for that would have been insane.
Yeah,
they would have been like, look what we, this is just further proof of that, like why we're so powerful because we're the ones that found this fucking legendary treasure. They just quietly found it and then kept all the money. That's kind of hard to believe.
Here's another one. This one is the treasure of the Llanganatis.
Wow.
This is a pretty famous one. This is Francisco Pizarro, 16th century Spanish commander. And the story goes that he captured an Inca king named Atahualpa. Atahualpa swore that he would fill an entire room of gold and gilded treasures if Pizarro would let him go. Pizarro agreed.
Yeah, it seems fair.
I mean, sure, I'll take it. As soon as he heard that the gold was en route to him, Pizarro, being a true piratey scumfuck, he went back on his word and just garroted the king.
Of course.
And this went down on July 26, 1533. When the gold couriers heard that their journey was worthless, they stopped and dumped the treasure in a secret mountain cave that's yet to be discovered to this day. That's the story.
The couriers, I mean, like this is the 16th century. They wouldn't have known that till they got there.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, it makes no sense. Like, what, someone fucking Instagram like King's dead, or whatever. Yep. Like what? Like, how did it be? Come on.
They read the news or something. Yeah, they're out at sea.
Yeah, they don't fucking know. They would have known when they got there. So I don't believe
that. So this gold allegedly was discovered back in 1850, a couple hundred years later. An English botanist named Richard Spruce said he had discovered written directions and a map to the cave in question. In 1886, treasure hunter Barth Blake, which I think is probably the perfect treasure hunter name. Barth Blake, treasure hunter.
Yeah, it has alliteration, everything.
Yep. Get on that, History Channel. He used these documents to locate Atahualpa's gold, and he wrote, "There are thousands of gold and silver pieces of Inca and pre-Inca handicraft, the most beautiful goldsmith works. You are not able to imagine them." He wrote about priceless jewelry, vases full of emeralds, so many riches that 1,000 men couldn't carry them out. Blake presumably took what he could carry, but mysteriously disappeared. He loaded up the treasure on his ship, started to head back to New York, and was never heard from again.
Yeah, this seems ridiculous. This seems like no one would write about the amazing amount of treasure they found. No one would tell this tale. This is a tale of someone that wants attention or is trying to sell you a story or something.
Yeah, if he actually found this, he would have made as many trips as was necessary to get every scrap of that shit out of there before he told anybody about anything. If he ever did, anyway. Modern day archaeologists agree that this map that was found does send you to a cluster of mines in the Llanganatis Mountains. But none of them really believe that there's a cave of wonders up there, because
of course.
That's what's described by this Barth Blake guy. It's just a giant cave filled to the brim with, like the that mummy movie or whatever, when they find all the riches stored and shit in that.
Right, dude. This is like some sensational movie shit at this point. Like, I know movies didn't exist in that time period, but it's just like it's outlandish. It just sounds like a form of entertainment, to be honest with you. Like, there's a cave of wonders and treasure, more gold than 1,000 men could carry. It's like, why would you tell anyone?
Right. There's actually a silver lining to this story, though, because so many people have gone up into these mountains looking for this cave that we've discovered a lot of ancient Inca ruins that otherwise probably would have been lost to time. So hey,
that's cool. Yeah.
And we've got evidence of the Incas being widely distributed through these mountains that otherwise we would not have had. So, bonus, I guess.
Yeah, so from an archaeological perspective, some cool shit. But as far as finding the room of wonders filled to the brim with treasure, yeah, obviously that never showed up.
Not quite. Last but not least, let's talk about this guy, this William Kidd, who, if you look at this portrait of him, you can tell this motherfucker was a pirate. Look at them eyes.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's got the pirate eyes. Like, never have I seen a more piratey pair of eyes than this. You zoom in on those eyes. Oh yeah, that's a pirate's. This whole thing is a pirate. A pirate's face, a pirate's eyes. It's one of the most notorious pirates of his time. And when he was executed in London in 1701 for the crimes of piracy and murder, he took all his secrets to his grave. He was found guilty on all charges, murder, and 5 counts of piracy. He was sentenced to death. He was hanged in a public execution on the 23rd of May, 1701, at Execution Dock, Wapping in London. They had to hang this dude twice. On the first attempt, the hangman's rope broke and Kidd survived, which he was unlucky, because a lot of times when that shit happened, they just let your ass go.
Yeah, but not him.
They were like, okay, well, that's a sign from God that this guy's innocent and blah, 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 blah.
But he had done so much shit. They're like, nope, you rope it.
There were actually people in the crowd that called out for his release when the rope broke. But the authorities were having none of it. They were not going to let William Kidd go. And so they hung him again 5 minutes later, and he died this time. And in the most piratey thing that ever happened to anybody, his body ended up in a gibbet like this. I mean, this is actually a drawing of him in the gibbet. And it stood there as a warning to would-be pirates for 3 years. So it was definitely like just bones and a gibbet by the end of it, which like conjures up such great, like you pull into an old port, like at night in the fog, and there's a gibbet with a bunch of bones in it, you know what I mean, warning against piracy. So that includes one of the secrets that he took to his grave was the location of his flagship, the Adventure, and all of the treasure that he had amassed during his pretty prolific pirating career. If you care to go looking for this ship, the best information says that it's somewhere around Madagascar. There's an island near Madagascar named the Island of the Pirates, Sainte Marie. And people believe that this ship is around there somewhere. According to the accepted story, Kidd set the Adventure on fire and sent her down to a watery grave, transferring what booty he could onto a new ship. But then it gets murky. Legend relayed by the Washington Post says it's either buried off the coast of Madagascar, possibly buried in New York, or somewhere in the Caribbean. So this is another one of those pretty much it could be anywhere type of deals.
Doesn't help me very much. It's like it could be in Madagascar, it could be near New York, it could be in the Caribbean, it could be in Singapore. It's like, oh fuck, dude, this isn't helping me.
Why did you not talk about One-Eyed Willie? Oh man, how did I miss One-Eyed Willie? Sealed himself in a cave filled with booby traps off the New England coast. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then in the 80s, a bunch of kids stumbled in there while being pursued by a mafia family. It's nuts. That's that. Well, maybe in the next one. Maybe I'll do another one of these.
Yeah, it sounds like vaguely like the plot of a movie, but I mean, too crazy.
So here's a picture of a painting of the Adventure, Captain Kidd's ship.
About as close as any of us will ever come to it.
Yep. In 2015, a dork named Barry Clifford declared that he'd found the wreck of the Adventure.
Oh. Okay.
And he had a 110-pound silver ingot as proof. Here's the guy here. And you can see what's on his hat here. So,
oh, wow.
Good old quote unquote History Channel who jumped all over this. Here's a picture of him holding the ingot that he found. Looks pretty fucking good. And there was a media frenzy around this, of course, because, you know, somebody found Captain Kidd's gold. But eventually, after this guy cashed in, and once again wearing a History Channel hat here.
Come on, he's being this is basically being filmed for the History Channel at this point.
Yeah. Eventually, he gave up this ingot to let people do some tests on it, and it's lead. It's not silver; it's lead. They say that it is a, you know, period contemporary piece of lead ballast. And pretty much the entire historical and exploring community has disavowed this guy, claiming that it was all just a hoax.
Looks like it.
He did a shoddy excavation. He didn't document anything as he went. But the good news is Captain Kidd's treasure is still out there somewhere, Scotty. Waiting for an intrepid explorer to go to either Madagascar, New York, or the Caribbean and dig that shit up.
Dude, we seem like a set of clues. Just give me a set of clues that are vague, that if I research online and go to different points on the globe, each one gives me a different clue that leads me further into finding like whatever the treasure is.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we need. I actually recently watched that movie, Uncharted.
Oh, really? With Tom Holland or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, this is like, okay, so this is basically international treasure. Is what you want to call it.
International. I love it.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
That's, I mean, it's based on that Sony video game.
Yeah, it's based on. Well, I actually realized that when I saw like Sony's logo come up, and I was like, oh, cool. But it's basically about this shit. It's like finding the buried treasure. Of course, the movie, so they end up finding the buried treasure. Well, it's not necessarily buried in this point, but it's lost. You know,
right?
Say that. So, but yeah, that was actually as far as a video game movie, it was decent for that. But definitely on topic here, I was like, oh man, you know, it kind of reminds me of that. But it's funny because the clues you get in real life are like basically a story that someone heard secondhand from a bum on the street that said Captain Kidd. You know, it's like, oh my god, like okay.
And you got like grifters like this dude claiming they found it and trying to pass off lead as silver and all this.
If he had found it, then the fucking story wouldn't have been him finding it. It would have been like him down there, like, "Whoa, I'm a fucking billionaire. I'm a millionaire."
Right.
So I mean, that's the first thing you like. Anytime I've ever seen someone legitimately find treasure, that's pretty much the reaction that happens. It's like they're just like, "Look, I'm rich."
There's actually this family whose great grandfather or something actually found one of these like Spanish treasure galleons in the Caribbean. And they've been excavating it forever, and they actually lead these tours where you can dive down there and you can keep up to $3,000 of treasure if you find it, which is pretty interesting. That's an actual real one, monetized like a Disneyland basically. But
well, yeah, because if you find it, I mean, if you find $1 million worth of treasure that they're looking for, or even $100,000, you get to keep 3,000. They get 97,000.
Of course,
and I mean, like,
not only free labor, but labor that actually paid them.
Oh yeah, it's eager as shit to. Oh, maybe I can find. I mean, it's also the thrill of finding something. It's unlikely you're going to find anything, but you might.
And even within that actual find of a Spanish treasure galleon, there's like a treasure, legend, where like the one part of the ship that they haven't been able to excavate yet is the captain's cabin, which is supposedly had, most of the super rich stuff.
So. Oh shit, dude. All right, yeah, we got to get in there.
So
those people have a claim though. So when they find it, we'll have to just see. You got to be smart about this shit, Paul. Let someone else do that, and then you just go and rob them.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that makes more sense to me. That's the true pirate spirit. Like, we got into the captain's chambers. Oh wow, you won't believe what we found. That's great. Hand it over. It's like, yeah, that's mine now.
Correction, I got into the captain chambers,
yeah,
matey.
Exactly, dude. That's how I think about it, man. Like, let someone else do the hard work. I'm not suited to that. Like, it's like, what I got to do? Like, nah. And I mean, that's what the world does to you, anyways. I mean, you got to be smart about these things. Like,
yes, of course.
You're trying to get fucking buried treasure. I mean, you could find buried treasure, but that's probably a fool's errand.
More than likely a fool's errand, yeah.
But I mean, of course, there's always these people that prove it. I mean, like, look, they found the Spanish galleon, but like I said, like that stuff honestly has like there's some credibility to that. Like they know this ship sailed. There's an official record of it. They know it existed. They know where it was. They have an idea of where it was going. So they're not going in totally blind. But it's like a kid heard something or someone. It's like, that's where it's like, I don't know how anyone would spend their life based on just like a rumor, essentially.
All these nerds that have died on Oak Island, scrabbling around, finding little bits of ash and little pieces of coin and shit, thinking there's a whole thing there, just based on like one grifter story that he found a cipher and translated it. Gotta love it.
I mean, but hey, that's that's why people do this shit, because there's like, it's obviously a long shot, but when people make life investments and decisions, a lot of times the long shot is the one they want to do, because if there actually is something to it and they do find it, it's like, they're set for life. So I think that's obviously kind of the thinking that people have with this stuff, or they get the glory.
One of the three of you running for presidency, TJ, Paul, and Scotty, 2022.
How are we
Who gets to be what though? Who's what in our 3-man running team? Because you can't have 3 presidents. That would just there would be war immediately.
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be like, whatever branch of the government if I control any branch of the government, it would definitely just be finance stuff, because that's basically what motivates people. People say the military and shit, but they all want to make money.
Yeah.
Just limit the money supply only to people who are loyal to me. Everyone else just gets nothing. Let them revolt.
Dude, I'll take Secretary of State. Stay out of the spotlight and still get rich.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Unless you're like Hillary or some shit. Then it's like, look, I'm the best Secretary of State we've ever had. Like, okay.
So that's what I got on buried and lost treasures. There's obviously a ton of these old stories. I had to comb through a bunch to find the ones that piqued my interest, but a lot of piratey stories. I love pirate stuff. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. And either I'll do another one of these double threat kind of episodes, or I'll do a long one for the patrons. We'll see.
Cool. Yeah, dude. I mean, it was super interesting because, I mean, of course, who doesn't love buried treasure? I mean, to me, that's like one of the ultimate things. And obviously, just hearing the legends. I mean, I don't put too much stock in it, but I mean, hey, it's still interesting to hear the fucking shit.
Still fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I mean, you just get in the spirit of like why people would look for treasure and why they would want it, and half of it's like, yeah, the money and stuff. It's also like you found this rare thing that no one even said was real. I think it's kind of the appeal to it. I think a lot of people probably irrational human beings. They're not just like, oh my god, it's 100% there. It's got to be there. It's like, what's the thrill of like if you find the Oak Island treasure? There's something to that where it's like, wow, it wasn't just like you prove some crazy thing that most people are like, it's bullshit. No one believes that. And you get to be the person that's like, it was real.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be justified for sure.
Yeah. Oh, God, 100%. So I've got some incredible animals of war for you guys today.
Sick. I love these stories, man. There's some badass animals.
Oh God, they're way more badass than I could ever be. The first one we have is Staff Sergeant Reckless.
Oh
which is a horse, of course. I mean, if you can't tell. I mean, I guess maybe you're listening to this, so you couldn't. So I have a little video we're gonna play here. So this actually, Sergeant Reckless was actually in the Korean War.
Cool.
Where she served. Let's see. Make sure we got some volume here.
This little sorrel filly. Aw.
In the middle of all this. Oh shit. Yeah, we're not going to show too much because.
Yeah, I think that's Platoon or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's one of those YouTube videos that just got away with murder.
When a horse senses danger, generally it's going to run away. A horse sees a snake, it's going to rear up. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do. They run away from things. That's their best natural defense. I mean, horses can scrap and they can kick you and shit, but their first instinct's going to be, let's run away from whatever is causing me harm. But during the 1950 to 1953 Korean War, one mare would run towards it. Staff Sergeant Reckless, the only horse in U.S. history to have been promoted to the rank of sergeant.
Wow.
So this horse got to be badass. It's like, you're a sergeant. Like,
I look at this two ways. I look at this like, wow, what a badass horse. And then I look at it and I go, wow, what a stupid fucking government that appointed a horse a military rank or whatever,
I mean, I can see it both ways, but it's still cool. So bought for $250 in 1952 by the U.S. Marine Corps lieutenant at Seoul Racetrack from a young Korean boy. This is kind of heartbreaking too, who needed the cash to buy his sister an artificial leg.
Damn.
So it's like
that's a real sad origin story, man.
So he's like, yeah, I'll buy it from you. The small horse will become America's greatest war horse. So like this captured international attention. Obviously not at this point, but for what she did. Although she was bred as a racehorse, she was part, I guess, Jeju, a local breed known for its hardiness. That toughness served her well as she became a pack animal trained to carry ammunition for the anti-tank company of the 5th Marines in 1952. Oh man, that does not sound like a job we're going to last long. I guess we have a next image here. Yep, that's her doing her job.
Damn. Cannon horse, man. Yeah.
The Marines called her Reckless after the recoilless rifle for which she carried ammunition. The cannon was often dubbed the Reckless rifle because it was so dangerous to handle.
Damn.
Well, not anymore. Reckless was all alone when she joined the Marines. Robin Hutton, founder of the Sergeant Reckless Memorial Foundation, wrote in her 2014 book, Sergeant Reckless, America's War Horse. Because horses are herd animals, the Marines became her herd. She bonded so deeply with them that Reckless could go anywhere and do anything to help her adopted family. So she was a full-on Marine, basically. Like, they wanted her to do this shit. She's like, I'm going to do it.
She's a badass.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, she's a badass.
Oh, clearly. Yeah, and like, she had no fear of the danger, as we're going to see, because, she did, she did some shit. She saw some shit. Let's put it that way. Maybe back this image up a little bit. As you can see.
Damn, Reckless.
She was in the thick of things. Reckless actually played an important role during the Battle of Outpost Vegas in the final stage of the Korean War between the U.S. and Chinese armed forces in March 1953. She was a very intelligent animal, Hutton explained. She would only need 1 or 2 times to learn a task. Then she could be left on her own devices to do what was needed to be done. Her intelligence was proven in the subsequent battles that she participated in. So they could show her what to do a few times, and then she was able to do it. Like, they didn't have to ride her up and down the mountain or lead her down. Like, she could actually function kind of autonomously.
Dude, that's awesome.
Once she was trained, of course. I mean, but so bit like, but obviously in this terrain and what they're doing in this time period, essential to that. Reckless intelligence was best demonstrated in perhaps her most famous battle, the Battle of Panmunjom, Vegas. Weird name for a battle, but hey. During the 5-day bloody battle, which is estimated to have cost the lives of 1,000 Americans and 2,000 Chinese soldiers, Reckless made 51 solo trips to resupply the guns with ammunition on one day alone.
Damn.
Oh my God, Reckless! I don't know how she did it, dude. I mean, that's just a badass horse.
Yeah, dude. Just a horse with the heart of a lion right here. Reckless.
Definitely lives up to her name. During one day of the battle, Reckless made 51 solo trips, carrying a total of 386 rounds of 75 millimeter ammunition for the recoilless rifles. That equated out to more than 9,000 pounds. Each trip was made between 4 and 8 shells, and altogether totaled more than 35 miles through a cratered land of death.
Damn.
I mean, this is like the front line here. I mean, like, this is not like some safe place. Like, there's everything that's going on. It's crazy. And she did it 51 times.
Fuck me, man.
On the return trips, she would also take wounded Marines down to rear areas for medical treatment, according to the website we pulled this from. Over the course of battle, she was wounded twice while performing her transport runs, and also provided cover for Marines to get to the front lines to engage the enemy. Astonishingly, Reckless did all of this mostly by herself while being under heavy enemy fire. She was trained to lie down when under fire and to avoid obstacles such as barbed wire.
Damn.
So it's like, people are probably thinking she went up a trail, she came back down, she went up a trail. It's like, I mean, she's literally crawling underneath the fucking Constantine wire and shit.
Dude, how did she fucking do that?
I don't know, man. It's just that I think we just think of animals a lot of times as like, well, they're not as capable as we really imagine them to be. And obviously there's times like this where, like Reckless here, where it's just, they do things you would never imagine a horse could ever do. But she did it.
Yeah,
she was a critical life.
This needs like a Rambo-esque jungle combat fucking movie now.
Yeah, if there's ever a
call
story,
it Reckless too. I mean, come on.
you have that one word title that studios love. She was a critical lifeline to the guns that were firing support for of us. Sergeant Harold E. Waldley of the U.S. Marine Corps, who served with Reckless during the Korean War, wrote in a foreword to Hutton's book. At times, the Marines would use their own flak jackets to cover their comrade from incoming fire. Reckless was a very special horse, and undoubtedly bonded through a spiritual connection of her love with the Marines, said Waldley. So all these fucking Marines just love this goddamn horse. Like, I mean, anyone's ever met a Marine is like, Marines as people as far as military go are kind of crazy. They're either the nicest people you ever meet or the biggest pricks you'll ever meet. I don't know why that is, but that's my experience with the several people I've known that have been in the Marine Corps. And I don't know, I think this horse just captured that spirit, because the horse is kind of like that. It's like the horse is willing to do any fucking thing. She's willing to go. I mean, honestly, probably put herself in more danger to her life than these guys.
Yep.
So, I mean, as anyone knows in warfare, I mean, that's crazy to make those kind of trips. She's under fire, every fucking thing else. Like,
crawling under barbed wire and shit.
Yeah, I don't have the balls for that.
Hitting the deck when the shells are coming in, she's getting down. That's dude.
Well, I mean, Paul, think about it this way. Even if you were guaranteed, like, let's say there's a magical wand that guarantees you can make these 51 trips and you're going to live. Like, nothing seriously bad is going to happen. You maybe get, you get scratched or something. But you have to make 51 trips. Most people, even knowing they had a guaranteed survival, probably wouldn't want to do it.
No.
I mean, like, I'd be scared. Oh, yeah, I'll survive. But, like, I'm going to have the worst fucking PTSD you can imagine.
Yeah.
The noise and waves of concussion can't be described, but she endured it all, said Waldley. This is where Mr. Me and Waldley disagree, but whatever. This is his words. I believe an angel had to be riding Reckless. She was alone without a Marine to lead her. Reckless, who would sleep in the other soldiers' tents at night, also endeared herself to her fellow Marines in a different way. Here's her actually nuzzles Corporal Paul. Hey, it's a Paul.
Oh man.
So another Paul.
She gave snuggles and shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
Man.
She was a friendly horse. Like you said, like that basically became her family. Like in her mind, this was her family. Whatever they wanted her to do, essentially that's what her brain power was going to. They want her to carry shit. She's gonna carry shit. Now this is where I think we can really appreciate. Reckless had a ferocious appetite. Hudson said she would eat anything and everything, but especially scrambled eggs and pancakes in the morning with her morning cup of coffee.
Oh,
So she ate scrambled eggs and pancakes and had a cup of coffee.
Wow.
I love that, dude. She had good taste. She also loved cake, Hershey bars, candy from sea rations, and Coca-Cola, even poker chips, blankets, and hats when she was being ignored, or if she was just trying to prove a point. It was amazing that she never became sick. Yeah, have to agree. I like that. She got scrambled eggs and pancakes with a cup of coffee for breakfast. And here is and we actually did an episode on soda, but this is actually beer. But Paul Hammersley shares a beer with Reckless.
Man. This reminds me of my horse. My horse couldn't do like any of the other stuff Reckless did, but my horse Sugar Baby that I had when I was really young, till about 8 years old, she fucking could chug some beers, man.
So yeah,
she loved getting drunk.
And of course, she liked to drink, as we can see here. And now we have a little video of Sergeant Reckless. Let's see, we have to go to, all right, let's go there. Let's full screen it. Sure we got volume.
We don't know how she made it.
Oh, that's low volume.
The good Lord took care of her, I guess.
This brave little mare was loved by the Marines.
She just roamed freely with everyone. We never put her up at night. She walked guard duty with me many times. She was like a puppy dog. She just loved people and loved GIs. But of course, she got all kinds of treats of beer and sandwiches and things like that. That good incentive for her.
Dude, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those stories where it's like, you just can't believe it. It's like literally like, because, you know, you see a movie like War Horse where it's like, you have people mistreating the horse that they're using to pull this shit. And then you have the opposite here, which I like, give her a beer.
Yeah, make her some scrambled eggs and get her a beer.
She probably got fucking fed better than those dudes.
Fucking, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because this is a Scotty episode. I'm waiting for it to be like, and then her whole body was blown to bits by a mortar or some shit.
That's a Peyton episode. Come on, dude. That's like a Peyton pull for TJ. Like he'd pull like the animals that like were horribly tortured at the circus or some shit. So Reckless. I have another image. Let me move that ahead. So Reckless, whose military decorations included 2 Purple Hearts, received a hero's welcome when she was shipped from Korea to the U.S. in 1954, with hundreds of people awaiting her arrival in San Francisco.
Damn, a celebrity too.
She was a fucking celebrity, dude. I mean, why not? It's just incredible shit. Here's Reckless stands proudly next to her newborn colt, Fearless. USMC history, Division Quantico, Virginia. So she did have a baby. She had Fearless. So she got to be a mama too. Yeah, no, she did not get blown up in the war zone, Paul. I know you're waiting for me to say like I just know Paul's waiting for the other shoe to drop where I'm just like, you know, we even said it, but it's like, all right, then what happened? Like the horse died at sea or something.
Yep. I'm waiting for the horrible ending.
I mean, life always has a horrible ending, but
True.
No, Fearless made it back home and everything else. Having been twice been promoted to staff sergeant, Reckless would spend the rest of her life at Camp Pendleton in California, where she gave birth to 1 filly and 3 colts. Although her death in 1968 was front page news in the U.S., she was buried with full military honors. Of course, she deserved it. The horse would become somewhat of a forgotten hero in the decades that followed. So kind of known for the time, but time goes on, people forget.
Yeah, how this hasn't been made into a horrible and watchable movie yet, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when Taylor told me about this horse, I'm doing research. I was like, I can't believe this has not been a Disney movie yet. Like, I just literally cannot even believe it. But in recent years, the Legend of Reckless has been resurrected, with a number of books being published and statues unveiled at Virginia's National Museum of the Marine Corps and Heritage Center in 2013, and at Camp Pendleton in 2016. So you can see this is, I think, some in her honor here. I mean, damn, cool. Reckless, you done well. When you have a fucking statue made out of you, and this isn't just some shit statue, this is a fucking real work of art.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
I mean, so that is impressive. I mean, just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Has anyone ever made a statue of you? Fuck no. Probably not gonna
no. The answer is no.
I like a statue made in my honor, but come on, let's be honest, I don't deserve one. Now, from the cute horse to a cute dog.
Oh man,
this one does have a movie. I will tell you that, Paul. Hollywood has definitely capitalized on this one. This one is Sergeant Stubby.
Stubby. Oh,
he's a
look at him's medals.
I know, dude. This is like we don't do too many cute episodes on here, but this one is definitely one of them. This is a cute motherfucker. While training for combat on the fields of Yale University in 1917, Private J. Robert Conroy found a brindle puppy with a short tail, and he named him Stubby. Right, it makes sense.
Sure.
And soon the dog became the mascot of the 102nd Infantry, 26th Yankee Division. And we have an image of Private Conroy with Stubby. Oop, gotta go. Enhance too much. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the military. I got my little dog too.
Dude, I wish.
Dude, I don't know how this happens, but some people just get away with this shit, Paul. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bring my dog to a war zone. And it's like he's the mascot. I'm like, all right, he go ahead and bring your dog along.
Yeah, I don't know how this happens, but hey,
some people do it, man. Some people pull shit off. I guess you just gotta have the balls to do it. He learned the bugle calls, the drills, and even a modified dog salute as he put his right paw on his right eyebrow when a salute was executed by his fellow soldiers.
Wow.
Shit, you know what? I'm not sure if I pulled that image. Let me go ahead and pull that.
He could even fucking salute.
Let's see if I have that one. Just want to make sure I do, but I think I actually do have it. There you go.
Wow.
There's his little salute. I see why they let him in. Well, this kind of explains though. Stubby had a positive effect on morale and was allowed to remain on camp, even though animals were forbidden. Well, yeah, I mean, if like people like if it's raising the soldiers' morale, I mean, of course, the military's like, well, if they're gonna be more effective at killing other people, then yeah, of course, Stubby can stay.
Wow, yeah, dude, yeah. So you just basically got to teach your dog to salute.
I mean, this one's march. Like, yeah, like the fucking general, whoever's in charge of this shit, is like some damn dog, and it's like Stubby, salute him, and it's like, they're like, all right, he can stay. When the division shipped out for France aboard the SS Minnesota, Private Conroy smuggled Stubby aboard. Like I said, he just didn't give a fuck. Hidden in the coal bin until the ship was far at sea. Stubby was brought out on the deck, where the soldiers were soon won over by the canine soldier. Of course.
I mean, who couldn't be?
I mean, yeah, it's like they're at fucking sea. It's horrible. They're going to face, what could be probably, in at least some of the cases, their death. And it's like, oh, there's a cool, like a cute little dog. Yeah, fuck that. That'll distract me from my problems for a minute. Stubby was soon discovered by Private Conroy's commanding officer, who allowed Stubby to remain after the dog gave him the salute.
There it is.
Dude, yeah, this isn't like, it's like you brought your fucking dog, Stubby, salute him, and it's all like, all right.
All right, he can come. Yeah, wow.
I mean, how could you say no to that? I can't. When the Yankee division was headed for the front lines in France, that's fun. Stubby was given special orders, allowing him to accompany the men to the front lines as their official mascot. The 102nd Infantry reached the front lines on February 5th, 1918. Stubby soon became accustomed to loud rifles and heavy artillery fire. I mean, he's got to be. He's on the front line.
And then Stubby stepped on a fucking landmine and exploded. No, Stubby. Why?
Paul, stop it. You're always such a pessimist, dude. Always such a pessimist. All right, but obviously he did go through some shit. He was in the war. His first battle injury occurred from gas exposure. He was taken to a nearby field hospital and nursed back to health. The injury left him sensitive to the tiniest traces of gas. When the division was attacked by an early morning gas launch, most of the troops were asleep. Stubby recognized the gas and ran through the trench barking and biting at the soldiers, rousing them to sound the gas alarm and saving many from injury. I mean, beautiful, right? It's like he's basically the canary in the coal mine. It's like Stubby was like, that shit hurt. And the minute he even gets a slightest whip, he's like, nope, fuck this.
They fucking gassed Stubby.
They gassed Stubby, dude. The fucking evil ass Germans, dude.
Motherfucking Nazis.
Yet again.
Gassed Stubby.
And these Germans, Paul, they're always like, why are you guys making fun of us? You gassed Stubby. I mean, what the fuck do you expect from us?
Damn them.
Damn them to hell. If there was a hell, that's where they belong.
Yeah.
Stubby also had a talent for locating wounded men between the trenches of the opposing armies. He would listen for the sound of English and then go to the location, barking until paramedics arrived, or leading the lost soldiers back to the safety of the trenches. Oh, and dude, espionage, no match for Stubby. He even caught a German soldier mapping out the layout of Allied trenches. The soldier called to Stubby, who put his ears back and began to bark. As the German ran, Stubby bit him on the legs, causing the soldier to trip and fall. He can actually continue to attack the man until U.S. soldiers arrived. For capturing an enemy spy, Stubby was put in for a promotion to the rank of sergeant by the commander of the 102nd Infantry. He became the first dog to be given the rank in the United States Armed Forces.
Wow. Once again, good for Stubby. And what are we doing giving animals a fucking rank in the military? Can we not? Thanks.
Dude, I like how Stubby just like literally knew. He's like, some German's like, oh, Stubby, come here, boy. And Stubby's like, fuck this shit, you fucking kraut.
He just ignored like all the wounded krauts out there. They're like, mein Gott. Lieben mein Gott.
Stubby go piss on him. He like lift his leg. He's like, that's what you get, bitch.
You're like, man, fuck that guy. He ain't speaking English.
Speak English. You want to get saved by Stubby. Later, Stubby was injured by a grenade attack and received a large amount of shrapnel in his chest and leg.
Oh, see? I knew it.
He was rushed to a field hospital and later transferred to a Red Cross recovery hospital for additional surgery. When Stubby became well enough to move around at the hospital, he visited wounded soldiers, boosting their morale. Bam. Oh, what? You thought he was dead?
He got fucking shrapneled and gassed, man. This dog.
Yeah, Paul keeps like waiting. He's just waiting for him, like, and then he died a terrible death.
He exploded right in front of the man that had owned him and brought him into the military. His guts draped over his combat cover.
And this is
stands
World War
there
I.
trembling.
This is like the fucking horrors of trench warfare. And Stubby's just like, all right. By the end of the war, Stubby had served in 17 battles. He led the American troops in a parade and later visited with President Woodrow Wilson, which we have. Yeah, there you go. There's fucking Stubby like, you know what I did? Did I do good? Am I a good boy? It's like, Stubby, you're better than a good boy. You're an extraordinary boy.
I mean, yeah, you get your own parade, Stubby.
Look at this dog. I love it, dude. Everyone's like, why is this dog here? Oh, it's Sergeant Stubby. He's a badass. He visited the White House twice, met with Presidents Harding and Coolidge. Stubby was awarded many medals for heroism, including a medal from the Humane Society. It was presented by General John Pershing, the commanding general of the United States Armies, which I think we have that image as well. Show you guys that. Boom.
Jesus Christ, Stubby, what the bestest of boys, man.
I mean, look at this shit. He's literally getting a fucking medal, dude. Fuck it.
Dude, imagine being this general having to pin a medal on a dog, man. He does not look super happy about it, but Stubby looks elated.
Oh yeah, this dude on the right side is just like, that says it all. It's like, I can't believe we're doing this. But it's like, it's Sergeant Stubby. You don't question him, dude. Because, dude, you know why? You know what it is? It's like, if you think about it, it's like you want to say like, yeah, it's ridiculous, but then it's like, well, Sergeant Stubby caught a fucking German spy.
True.
You know, so it's like anytime you have a counter argument, it's like maybe you shouldn't. It's like I don't know, man. He went through 17 battles. He got fucking wounded several times. It's like I don't know. Give him the fucking medal. So he was awarded a membership in the American Legion and the YMCA. When his master, John Robert Conroy, began studying law at Georgetown University, Stubby became the mascot of the Georgetown Hoyas. Sadly, though, I mean, he died of natural causes at the age, I think it was the age of, let's see, I think he was 17, like 9 years old. He died in 1926 around the age of 9. After his death, Stubby's remains were stuffed and put on display at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C.
Damn.
His display has all the medals he was given, except the German Iron Cross. It was unfortunately lost. Which, that's sad, but...
All that needs is a better ending, you know? Like, they could do a movie about it.
Actually, you know what? He's taxidermy, but I actually didn't pull it. So let me go ahead and pull it.
Oh, no. They taxidermied him? No. Man, nah. Nah, Stubby, nah.
There's Stubby.
Son of a... Man, this is... The horse got it.
He's at the Smithsonian. You can see him. If you guys go to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., you can see Sergeant Stubby.
No thanks.
And make sure you salute him if you see him, Paul.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I... man.
Oh, come on. You don't want to see Sergeant Stubby?
Stubby's got to stand there for eternity? Come on, man.
And, of course, Paul, like we said, I mean, they've got to make a movie of it, which actually is pretty highly rated, surprisingly. Sergeant Stubby, an American hero. Audience score, 92%. Dominometer, 89%.
That's not bad.
A couple of images. My hope is at the end they see him stuffed in the museum. That's my only hope.
They just write another they write another ending, like where Stubby comes back to America, but he's got horrible PTSD, ends up on the street, like being a streetwalker, selling his body for fucking hits of crack, and then
poor Stubby, dude. He's given hand jobs for crack.
Yep.
Oh, it's sad.
He, somewhere off the strip in Vegas, just a total degenerate. God damn it, Stubby.
Poor Stubby. So Paul each time has been like something horrible happened. I mean, I guess he did end up in a taxidermy in a museum, but I mean, he was dead anyway, so it wasn't like they did it prematurely.
People would line up around the block to get one of Stubby's famous stub jobs.
Oh, yeah, you love the stub job, don't you? This is Cher Ami, a Pigeon.
Of course, he's got a French name. Of course.
Cher Ami was a registered carrier pigeon, one of the 600 birds owned and flown by the U.S. Army Signal Corps in France during World War I. He delivered 12 important messages within the American sector at Verdun. On his last mission, October 4th, 1918, he was shot through the breast and leg by enemy fire, but still managed to return to his loft and with a message capsule dangling from his wounded leg. The message Cher Ami carried was from Major Charles S. Whitley's Lost Battalion of 77 Infantry Division that had been isolated from other American forces. The message brought relief from the 194 battalion survivors, and they were saved behind American lines shortly after the message was received. Damn. For his heroic service, Cher Ami was awarded the French Croix de Guerre with a palm. I'm sorry, I butchered that. He was returned to the United States and died at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, on June 13th, 1919, as a result of his wounds. Oh, so that one did. Yeah, I guess he was shot and killed, Paul, basically from his.
Fuck.
Yeah, you can see his little damaged leg, but he fucking saved a bunch of lives. Off.
Man, fucking war is hell, man.
Oh god, it is. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that. Cher Ami was later inducted into the Racing Pigeon Hall of Fame in 1931 and received a gold medal from the organized body of American pigeon fanciers in recognition of his extraordinary service.
That sounds like a group of people that fuck pigeons, man.
I am
pigeon fanciers, dude.
I am from the organized bodies of the American pigeon financiers.
Oh
wow, dude. But yeah, good job. This one, though, I mean, kind of a sad ending, but he made it back home, and of course, saved a bunch of people's lives, so it wasn't for naught.
Made it back home to be stuffed.
Here's my hastily pulled part of the show because I didn't. None of the things I had actually pulled involved elephants, but TJ did the thumbnail, so I was like, I don't want to be clickbait.
Nice. Hey, I'm down to learn a little blurb or two about some famous fucking war elephants.
So this is Pyrrhus's pachyderms. After Alexander, it became fashionable, if not always militarily expedient, for up-and-coming generals to field a few elephants in their armies.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean you have to have the fucking elephant, and like
the
like,
shock value alone.
If you're showing off your army, it's like, that's where your elephants. Oh man, it's like, the minute you do something like that, it's like, we'll conquer these motherfuckers, no problem.
You brought a bunch of fucking legions to a elephant fight, bro.
I mean, look at that shit there. They're like, oh shit, elephants. It's like, what are you gonna do? I mean, now elephants.
Fuck you, Smith Black. You can't stuff me.
What?
I don't want to be a stuffed fucking display, man. Fuck
Don't
that.
do it. All right, well, you'll be dead though, Paul. So that'll be okay.
I guess that's true. I won't be here to care, but
yeah, if you were there to care, that'd be one thing. Like if they stuffed you alive, that's when it's fucked up. In 279 BC, the Greek general, I guess it's Pyrrhus, attempted to revive Alexander's empire. I mean, good luck with that. Invading southern Italy with a force that included 20 armed and armored elephants. Pyrrhus hoped that his tuskers would terrify the defending Romans, but the beast's main effect was to block his own army's advances through narrow streets. Ooh.
Yikes.
That's not good. Pyrrhus ran into the most common difficulty with war elephants. Whenever the beast panicked, they often bolted, trampling his own army's foot soldiers.
I mean, hey, that's just collateral damage, man. You got to have an elephant. Some people are going to get trampled, man. Maybe your guys, maybe their guys. It's a chaos weapon,
Ah, cool. Okay, so this is actually where the term Pyrrhic. Pyrrhus's invasion was successful but costly, spawning the term Pyrrhic victory. The ancient historian Plutarch quotes him as quipping, "If we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined." Yeah, makes sense. So
yeah,
we've used that a couple times on the show, Pyrrhic victory, and that's where it comes from. So you can win, but at great cost. So it might as well not even have won. Let's see. Oh, Cyrus crossing the Alps with Hannibal. Okay, this is actually a pretty famous one. Widely acknowledged as one of the greatest military leaders in history, the Carthaginian general Hannibal failed north in BC, crossing the Alps from Gaul with an army of foot soldiers, cavalry, and a handful of North African forest elephants. Smaller than Asian and African elephants, familiar in today's zoo goers. Okay, cool. So, that's true. Like, I think that is, there's like 5 different species of elephant or something, some shit like that. Of the 6 elephants that survived the arduous mountain trek, 5 died the following winter. I wonder which one survived. The 6th, a one-test elephant named Cyrus, became Hannibal's mount. Shocking that he picked the one that survived. And mobile viewing, the 6th, became Hannibal's mount and mobile viewing platform in the marshes of the Arno. Over the next 15 years, Hannibal won significant battles and occupied much of Italy, sometimes with reinforcement elephants shipped directly from Africa. In 209 BC, battle with Roman consul Marcellus, Hannibal's war elephants created havoc until the Romans managed to wound one, touching off a cascade of panic among the pachyderms. Cool. What's the other ones we want to read?
Dude, that's...
Charlemagne had an elephant? Okay.
Cool.
Abdul Abbas, Charlemagne's elephant. So this one I've never heard of. Some of these stories I have heard, but this one I have not. In AD 801, a Jewish trader named Isaac returned to Europe after a 4-year mission to the Persian Empire in Africa. He had been sent by Charlemagne, the Frankish king who was crowned the first Holy Roman Emperor, to procure an elephant from Harun al-Rashid, the Abbasid Caliph, who would later be immortalized in many of the Arabian Nights stories. Known for making Baghdad a cosmopolitan center of religious and scientific study, Harun sought friendly relations with Charlemagne, in part to counterbalance the 2 rival dynasties, the Byzantines in Greece and the Umayyads in Spain. The elephant named Abdul Abbas, after the founder of the Abbasid Empire, found a welcome home at Charlemagne's court. I mean, of course, at Aix-la-Chapelle, is named after Dave Chappelle. Today, Aachen, Germany. Charlemagne took Abdul Abbas to war with the Danes in 804, but the elephant steered clear of the fighting. Well, fuck yeah. Who wants to be doing that shit?
Fuck that, man. Send his big elephant ass in there.
Send his big ass in. Damn,
like
Paul.
these big ass elephants, they might be big and impressive, but notice how none of them live up to the example set by a pigeon, a dog, and a horse in this episode.
No. See, but yeah, that was that was TJ assuming that bigger the animal, the better. But hey, you know what?
True.
He should have talked to me. He should have said, "Hey, Scotty, what's the episode about?" And we could have used the horse, could have used Sergeant Stubby, could have used the little pigeon Cher on me or whatever her name was. Nope, she didn't want to listen. Didn't even care to fucking call. So how about Henry III's elephant, Paul? Didn't know about that, did you?
I'm sure it lived a horrible life, just like in his zoo or some shit.
So Charlemagne was hardly the only medieval European ruler to the recipient of a large mammal diplomacy. Henry III, who ruled England from 1207 to 1272, was the recipient of several such gifts. That's pretty awesome. Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II sent him a camel, while the King of Norway gave him a polar bear. Fuck yeah, dude. Give me a fucking polar bear. But Henry's biggest gift came from Francis Louis X, or Louis IX, excuse me. An African elephant, Henry, an African elephant, Henry quickly dispatched the Sheriff of London to build without delay one house of 40 feet long and 20 feet deep for our elephant. Fuck yeah, dude. That sounds horrible for the elephant, but
it does.
You know, hey, I mean, these people always have the excuse of being completely fucking ignorant of those things. Crowds flocked to see it, including the English chronicler and illustrator Matthew Paris, who had made a remarkably detailed illustration of the beast. Sadly, after just 2 years as the Toast of London, Henry's elephant died, reportedly having been given too much red wine to drink. Well, the candle that burns twice as bright burns twice as fast.
Damn.
But you're right. Yeah, I mean, people did not know how to take care of these animals.
It's fucked up, man.
How about this? Thomas Jefferson's mistaken mammoth. So this is really about war, but whatever. TJ put this in the fucking title, or put the fucking image, so we're gonna do it anyways. In 1801, pioneering American natural historian and museum founder Charles Wilson Peel asked President Jefferson for a federal grant to excavate a set of bones that had been uncovered in a tar pit in Newburgh, New York. Jefferson obliged, and Peel uncovered the first known full remains of a North American mastodon, a prehistoric cousin of the elephant, and a mammoth that went extinct 11,000 years ago. That's pretty cool. Misidentified as a mammoth, the skeleton of the 11-foot-tall animal was put on display at Peel's Philadelphia Museum. In 1804, Jefferson, who doubted the species could go extinct, instructed the leaders of Lewis and Clark's expedition to keep an eye out for any mammoths, living or dead, as they journeyed to the Pacific. In 1807, Jefferson commissioned William Clark to collect mammoth fossils from Big Bone Lick, Kentucky. That's a hell of a name.
Big Bone Lick.
Big Bone Lick, Kentucky. Clark then forwarded a set of bones to the White House, where Jefferson enthusiastically laid them out in the East Room.
Big Bone Lick, man. Oh, wait a minute,
guys. That's what I have for you, Dad. I had a little bit more, but
you're telling me you did this episode and you didn't pull, and you pulled about war elephants, but you didn't pull anything about Death Trunk, Scotty?
No.
Death Trunk served in 2 major wars, World War II and Vietnam.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. He fucking killed Hitler, like reached down with his cybernetically enhanced trunk and plucked Hitler out of the fucking bunker. And he's like, 999. And Death Trunk was just like skewered him with his fucking tusk. They put experimental lasers on him for his Vietnam campaign. Dude, I cannot believe.
I'm sorry.
You didn't pull anything about Death Trunk.
No, I didn't do it. I presume that, I mean, like, everyone had heard of Death Trunk. I'm sorry.
Fuck, man.
I mean, I hadn't heard of it, but I mean, like, look, I heard enough to know, like, Death Trunk, like, you don't fuck with Death Trunk. I mean, everyone, like, look, this guy knows. He's like, why would you even ask? Death Trunk?
Death Trunk, dude.
Yeah, oh, and I mean, obviously, you know. I mean, don't be coy.
Look it up on the Googles, man. It's true. Death Trunk.
Don't ever fuck with Death Trunk. I mean, dude, there's rumors that the ghost of Death Trunk still wanders these lands. That's what I've heard.
I've heard the same.
Paul wants to do a Death Trunk episode. That's up to Paul.
Maybe I will. I mean, there's definitely enough meat on that bone, as we say.
There's a lot of meat on that bone. Well, Paul, I think we gotta do some afters, don't we?
Yeah. We're about 10 minutes. We'll be doing a grease trap for our patrons only. So if you want to check that out, become a patron. We're gonna be hanging out now.
If not, you're just a horrible human being. We hate you.
I fucking agree. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.